Have you ever wondered if your prayers really reach the heavens? If there is an answer beyond the silence that follows your most vulnerable moments? Now is the time to unlock the secrets and discover the truth that will change your perception of faith forever. There are moments in our lives that push us to the edge where we cry out for a sign, any sign, that confirms to us that we are not alone, that our voices are heard. What if I told you that every plea, every tear, every shared laugh is heard and valued? Today we will reveal 5 undeniable signs, 5 moments of epiphany that not only suggest but assure you that your prayers are not just words thrown into the wind, but rather keys that unlock the depths of divine interaction. Imagine that every challenge you face, every difficult decision you make, is being shaped by unseen hands, guiding you toward a purpose greater than anything you can imagine. This video is not just an exploration. It is a journey into the heart of the divine, a journey where we will discover together that you are heard, you are loved, and most importantly, you are chosen. As we delve into these signs, I ask that you keep your mind and heart open. Notice the coincidences that are not coincidences, the answers that come in disguise, the moments of unexpected peace that calm your soul in the midst of the storm. Every person has a story, every prayer an echo that resonates throughout the universe. Today we connect these stories, these echoes, and reveal the invisible tapestry woven by faith that binds humanity together. Today we will reveal the 5 signs that God hears all your prayers. Keep watching, explore these signs with me, and discover how powerful His voice is. Prepare to see the unseen, understand the unexplored, and feel the undeniable presence of the divine in every step you take. Stay with us and see your faith reflected in the signs we reveal today. In the vast and mysterious theater of life, where each soul plays its unique role, there sometimes arises a feeling of peace and confidence so profound that it transcends human understanding. This feeling, intertwined with the purest faith, is a serene assurance that everything is in God's hands, a silent and powerful answer to those fervent pleas that ascend to heaven in moments of despair and hope. The human journey is often marked by storms that cloud our paths and challenge our faith. Yet in the heart of the believer, even in the darkest storms, an unshakable light of peace can shine. This light is not a mere illusion to comfort the weak. It is the manifestation of the divine presence that whispers to the heart, "I am with you, do not fear." It is an eternal promise that echoes through the centuries, finding its place in the depths of a trusting spirit. This inexplicable peace is not the result of favorable external circumstances, but is born of an intimate and constant connection with the divine. It arises in the most unexpected moments, a glimpse of beauty in the midst of routine, a timely word from a stranger, or even in the contemplative silence where time seems to stand still and the sacred becomes palpable. It is as if God Himself weaves a mantle of tranquility around those who place their anxieties and fears in Him. This state of trust is the true essence of faith. It transforms the human heart, not by denying the painful realities of life, but by affirming a greater truth, that there is a supreme power that orders the chaotic dance of the universe with steady and wise hands. Thus, even without immediate answers, the faithful live with the certainty that every event, every challenge, and every joy are part of a greater plan, carefully orchestrated by the Creator. And in this divine plan, every plea is heard, every tear is seen, and every heart is known. No voice is raised in vain, for every word spoken in prayer is received by the ears of an attentive and loving Father. Those who experience this peace and trust have something in common. They know God not just as a distant supreme being, but as an intimate friend, a guide, a comforter. The true miracle of this peace is that it is often most intense precisely when circumstances are most adverse. In the midst of crises, losses, and uncertainties, when the world says it is time to give up, faith whispers, "Trust." And in that whisper, there is enough strength to face mountains, to cross deserts, and to sail stormy seas. The peace that comes from God does not simplify life's problems, but rather complicates unbelief, challenging it with each new proof that He is actively present and at work. Every step taken in faith is a testimony to this inexplicable peace. Every decision to trust in spite of uncertainty is an act of spiritual courage. And as this journey of faith continues with its ups and downs, its joys and pains, the believer does not walk alone. Accompanied by God's constant presence, guided by His invisible hand. So while the veil of the future remains intact and unanswered questions echo in the heart, the saga of faith unfolds. It invites us to delve deeper into the mystery, to live with a hope that defies logic, and to experience a peace that is both a gift and a sign. A sign that even in the deepest shadows, God's light still shines, guiding, protecting, and loving unconditionally. And so the story continues, woven with the threads of divine providence, ready to reveal new chapters of grace and redemption. Imagine yourself walking down a foggy road, where every step seems uncertain and every turn brings with it a new challenge. Suddenly, a light dawns, a path opens, and what once seemed a dead end becomes an avenue of opportunity. This is not luck or chance. It is God's answer to the prayers whispered in the silence of a broken heart. It is God saying, "I am here, I am listening, I am acting." These unlikely circumstances are not mere accidents along the way. These are signs that, even when we don't realize it, even when our prayers seem to echo in a void, God is orchestrating a greater plan. Like a painter who adds a touch of color where we least expect it, God inserts these coincidences into our lives as brushstrokes of grace that guide us, comfort us, and encourage us to continue. Every door that opens unexpectedly is like a new chapter in a book that God writes about our lives. Each unexpected event is a verse of this divine poem that He composes in silence. It is these moments that often bring great twists and turns in our story, changes of course that take us to destinations we would never have imagined. Faith teaches us that there are no coincidences for God. Everything serves a purpose. The hand that moves the stars is the same one that directs our steps. Thus, when an opportunity arises unexpectedly, or a solution appears just when all hope seemed lost, it is a reminder that God is active in our lives. He works in silence, with subtle movements, opening doors, illuminating paths, and aligning circumstances for our good. Understanding these signs, however, requires more than perception. It requires communion. It is in constant dialogue with the divine, in the daily surrender of our lives, that we begin to perceive these wonders. Prayer does not just change circumstances, it changes the speaker. It shapes us, prepares us to recognize God's signs, and teaches us to trust Him, even when the next step is uncertain. Unexpected events remind us that God is not confined to our expectations. He works beyond our conceptions and limitations. God chooses the exact moment, the exact way, and the exact circumstances to reveal His power and presence in our lives. And often He does so in such subtle and beautiful ways that we can only marvel and be humbled by His wisdom. That is why every unlikely coincidence, every open door, is a summons to deeper faith and more resolute trust. It is a call to look beyond what is seen and believe in what is eternal. These are the moments when God subtly reminds us that every detail of our lives is under His sovereign direction. As we continue to walk the journey of life, facing its ups and downs, it is essential to remember that we are not at the mercy of fate, but in the hands of a God who knows each of us by name, who plans every step of our journey with infinite love and impeccable precision. In every coincidence and every door that opens, there is a love story being written, a plan being unfolded, a life being transformed. This kind of guidance is like a bright star in a dark night, guiding travelers through unknown lands. It comes in moments of indecision, when paths fork and choosing one could mean losing the other. It is at those moments that the voice of intuition, clear as crystal, whispers to the heart, instilling an unshakable confidence that the chosen path is the right one. This voice does not shout, It makes itself heard in the deep silence when the soul is still enough to hear God's whispers. This clarity in important decisions is a gift that many seek through prayer, meditation, and contemplation. It is the fruit of an intimate relationship with the divine, cultivated in the depths of spiritual communion. When an individual surrenders himself totally to the will of God, he opens his heart to receive this supernatural guidance, allowing his mind to be illuminated by a light that dispels all shadows of doubt. The impact of this clarity is transformative. Decisions made in this light not only shape the course of a person's life, but also radiate influence positively affecting those around them. It is as if, by choosing according to divine guidance, the individual becomes a channel through which God's blessings flow into the world. This is not a path of isolation, but of profound connection with humanity, for each choice made under this guidance has the potential to uplift, heal, and inspire. In the lives of those who have been touched by this clarity, there are stories of quiet miracles and hidden victories. They are testimonies of how divine guidance can lead to success where others fail, bring peace where there is conflict, and generate hope where despair reigns. Every decision, no matter how small, carries with it a reverberation that echoes into eternity, a testament to the fact that nothing in existence is trivial when touched by the hand of God. Those who walk under this guidance rarely stray onto the path of ease or convenience. They choose routes that defy logic and confound cynics. However, these choices are made with the serenity of those who know they do not walk alone. The confidence that surrounds them is not arrogance, but the humble acceptance that divine wisdom is infinitely superior to human wisdom. This gift of clarity and direction is, at its core, a call to a life lived in complete submission to divine will. It is an invitation to dive into the unknown, with the certainty that each step is guided. Those who respond to this call discover that, even in the most complex and challenging decisions, there is a surprising simplicity and profound peace, for they know that each choice is a part of the divine plan. Imagine yourself on one of those gray days, when the questions weigh more heavily than the answers, and the path ahead seems shrouded in fog. It is precisely at these times that life, as if guided by a divine scriptwriter, introduces a new character or reveals a fragment of wisdom that changes everything. It could be an old friend who calls out of the blue, or a book that falls from a shelf, opening to a page that seems written just for you. These are not random events, but rather messages sent across time and space, destined to arrive precisely when we need them most. These people and these messages serve as beacons of light in times of darkness, offering guidance, comfort, and confirmation that we are not alone on our journey. They are living proof that our prayers are heard and that there is a greater power watching over us with love and care. Each encounter, each word that reaches us at this opportune moment, is a link in the chain of communication between the human and the divine. The beauty of this orchestration lies not only in the response it offers, but in the manner in which it is delivered. God, in His infinite wisdom, chooses messengers from among those who are dear to us, or through strangers who cross our path for a reason, a purpose, a moment. And as we speak to them, as we read these words that seem tailor-made for our situation, the reality of our connection with the divine becomes more palpable, more clear, more deeply rooted in our being. Those who receive such messages and encounter these people at their exact moment of need often find themselves filled with a sense of wonder and gratitude. Each encounter is a reminder that every moment of our existence is part of a larger storyline, carefully written by hands that shape and guide us. And it is through these encounters that we begin to understand that our lives are not a series of disconnected chapters, but a flowing, cohesive narrative, woven together with the golden thread of divine providence. On this stage of life, where each human being plays multiple roles, these encounters with the right people and messages are like direct dialogues with the author of our existence. They are invitations to a greater understanding of God's purpose and presence in our lives. Every word spoken, every act of kindness received, every piece of advice that arrives at just the right time are manifestations of God's love. who not only hears our prayers but answers them in ways that we sometimes only understand much later. In the midst of life's struggles, when storms rage fiercely and waves threaten to drag us into the abyss, there emerges, often unexpectedly, a fortress of resilience and strength. This is no ordinary strength, shaped only by the human desire to survive. It is a strength imbued with divinity, a living proof that God not only hears our prayers, but responds with a power that enables us to persevere beyond our own limitations. This strength is like a beacon that shines in the darkest moments, an unmistakable sign that we are not alone on our journey. This strength comes in moments of weakness when our knees tremble and our faith is put to the test. It is in these moments that many feel an invisible hand that sustains them, a breath of courage that fills the spirit and invigorates the soul. How is it that just when we feel like we are going to fall, we find a superhuman capacity to remain standing? It is not by chance or mere coincidence. It is God's answer to prayers made in tears, to the desperate search for help in the midst of tribulation. This divine strength that is granted to us not only helps us face challenges, but also transforms our very nature. It molds us into more resilient beings, more capable of facing the adversities of the world. Through this transformation, we are called to be living testimonies of the strength that comes from God. Each obstacle overcome, each pain endured with patience, each moment of despair transformed into hope, is a story of faith, a chapter in the book of our life that speaks of the restorative and strengthening power of the divine presence. The true resilience we experience is not just a temporary recovery or a brief moment of strength. It is a lasting change, a new way of approaching life and its struggles. With each trial, we learn not only to survive, but to thrive, fueled by the knowledge that each challenge faced with God's help makes us stronger, wiser, and closer to who He wants us to be. Moments of increased strength and resilience are often accompanied by a deep inner peace. This peace is the assurance that God is in control, that our struggles are not in vain, and that today's pain is tomorrow's strength. It is a peace that transcends human understanding, allowing us to smile in the midst of the storm, confident that the same hand that calms the sea will also guide us to safety. This spiritual fortitude is a testimony to those around us. It serves as a beacon of hope for those who are lost in their own battles. When others see in us a strength that defies circumstances, they are inspired to seek that same source of power. Thus, our journey becomes not only about our own survival, but about being a vector of faith and hope for the world. These are sublime moments when the veil between the heavenly and the earthly seems to thin, allowing for an intense and palpable communion with the divine. In moments of prayer and reflection, some fortunate ones report feeling a special closeness to God, as if He were there, personally present, listening attentively to every word, every sigh of the soul, every longing of the heart. This sense of divine presence is not a passive experience. It is a living dialogue, a dynamic exchange between the Creator and the creature. It is like standing before a vast and deep ocean, feeling the waves of His presence washing over the soul, refreshing and renewing the spirit with each ripple of His infinite grace. For those who experience such moments, there is no doubt that they are before something, or someone, that transcends ordinary understanding, a power that knows deeply, loves eternally, and listens with an attention that knows no distractions. The intensity of this presence can transform the most hardened heart, melt the ice of indifference, and ignite a flame of fervent love that nothing can extinguish. When God makes Himself present in this way, words become secondary, for the very air seems to vibrate with the music of a heavenly harmony. Prayers in these moments are more than mere words. They are the expression of the soul meeting its Creator, an encounter that is as profound as it is sacred. This experience of divine presence is often described as an enveloping warmth, a light that illuminates the darkness within, a touch that comforts and heals the deepest wounds. It offers a peace that the world cannot give, and a certainty that the world cannot take away. It is tangible proof of the promise that God is with His children always, especially in moments of sincere seeking and need. The power of this encounter goes beyond momentary comfort. It has the potential to alter life trajectories, inspire new vocations, drive radical change, and instill new hope in hearts that have lost hope. Those who experience God's presence in such an intimate way often become beacons of light to others, conveying the reality of His nearness in ways that words cannot express. In these sacred encounters, time seems to stand still, and the eternal touches the temporal. With every breath, with every heartbeat, there is a recognition that every moment of existence is imbued with divine meaning. It is not just a presence to be felt in places of worship or at sacred rituals. It is a lived reality that permeates every aspect of the experiencer's life. And so, as the world continues to spin at its frantic pace, those who have been touched by the divine presence walk with a new awareness, a new reverence for life and all that it encompasses. They carry with them the awareness that in every moment of true seeking, in every moment of sincere reflection, the divine is only a prayer away. This transformation often begins subtly. It may be a new awakening on a quiet morning, where thoughts that were once dominated by worries and fears begin to turn to hope and faith. Or perhaps, in the midst of fervent prayer, an insight emerges that completely changes the perspective of a difficult situation. As this shift deepens, the old thought patterns that once incited anxiety and despair are slowly replaced by a new way of understanding life. Fears are replaced by unshakable confidence. Doubts are exchanged for spiritual certainties. This new way of thinking does not deny the existence of problems, but approaches them with a resilience and peace that seems supernatural. It is as if, suddenly, challenges are no longer insurmountable obstacles, but essential and manageable steps on the path to spiritual growth. The transformation of the heart is equally dramatic. Feelings of bitterness or resentment that may have been ingrained over the years begin to give way to forgiveness and compassion. Where there was once selfishness or indifference, a selfless love that seeks the good of others above one's own blossoms. This change is not an act of human will. It is the result of divine grace that purifies and renews the heart so that it can love more fully. This renewed alliance between mind and heart under divine influence has a profound impact not only on the transformed person, but also on everyone around him or her. Relationships are restored and strengthened, communities are enriched, and the testimony of a changed life becomes a light that guides others to the same source of renewal. The presence of someone whose heart and mind have been transformed by God is like an oasis in the desert, offering hope and refreshment to all who are weary and burdened by life. In addition, this transformation also influences the way in which challenges are faced. With a mind aligned with divine purposes and a heart filled with divine love, adversities are seen not as punishments or curses, but as opportunities to deepen faith, practice patience, and demonstrate grace. Each difficulty is faced with a serenity that confounds skeptics and inspires believers, for it is clear that such inner strength can only come from a higher source. In this ongoing process of renewal, each day offers new opportunities to grow, learn, and transform. The path of spiritual transformation is one of constant discovery, where each experience, good or bad, contributes to the deepening of character and the expansion of spiritual understanding. And as this journey unfolds, those who undergo this spiritual metamorphosis realize that they are not simply passing through life. They are growing through it, shaped and guided by a hand that writes a story of redemption and hope in the heart of every believer.